All right, we are live. Greetings, fellow traders. Let me get this tweeted out here real quick. Awesome. Good. Well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. Well, what a day. So we had a huge down move today and a pretty decent up move today on the SPX. So I've got the monthly chart pulled up here. 22-point up move today, so pretty decent. Futures right now are flat, so we'll have to see how that goes throughout the night. But in the meantime, let's see what we got going on. We have just quick review. We have the basically that big push down in December, Christmas reversal, inside month, break to the upside, spinning top, hammer, break to the upside, Marabozima, and then we reclaim the entire range, right? So we did have a trend line here, this pink trend line here from the December lows through January, going all the way to the top, just kind of showing the trend is still up, until it changes, right? So the trend is your friend until it bends, right? And so here we just got to, still keep an eye if it breaks to the downside. There are some gaps below, so there is a possibility. So this is not a pretty candle, right, if we still look at it, but it is still holding trend. So just keep that in mind, global picture, big picture. So so we'll have to kind of see how this week ends up. We've got a couple days left. If we have some more solid days to the upside, this could end up with a hammer. Could be a good reversal, and then we could try back at all-time highs. So newsletter subscribers are aware of we do Elliott wave analysis of the S&P, and they know that we're very possibly in an ABC pattern, which means we might not take out the all-time highs, but we might get close. So just a little bit of info there. But here on the daily, really nice stuff. We like to trade cloud breakouts. So yesterday, the S&P went into its daily cloud, which is this yellow line here, and then today, right, gapped up a little bit and then broke through the cloud for a nice, it almost was like a 30-point move to the upside. So always looks easy when you look at the bigger time frames, right? And so if you trade the bigger time frames, you don't have as much, nervousness intraday, but it is still fun to trade intraday and scalp some nice trades. So, we had, positive trenders, newsletter subscribers in the private Twitter feed made some money today on Apple. I traded, didn't do as well as some of the traders in there, but it was a good setup that we looked at today. So, but here's the S&P. So real quick, we gapped up, pushed to the upside. This bar was a little bit scary, right? Nice big push to the downside, and I wanted to see how it handled this S1 level. Ended up breaking through that, belt hold bar breakthrough, and then to the upside. Consolidation pattern here, just kind of almost I think I tweeted this out today. This was looking like a rectangle pattern, which we've done in our chart pattern discussion here over the past 2 weeks. We have a little top here, right? So this is how we do it, right? We have a rectangle, right? Then you have your 1, 2, 3 up top and 1, 2 on the bottom. So here's your 1, right? 2, or 1 on the bottom, 2, and then your 3. And it down and then breaks to the upside. So there's your breakout of the rectangle, and then it had a nice push here through the prior day's highs. And once it could reclaim that, you had a measured move, up, pause, and then up, and then basically chop around for the rest of the day. So so pretty interesting stuff. We did get some interesting moves though here at the end of the day. You can see this is the trend line from the from yesterday's kind of reversal right at the end of the day, and then we kind of tracked that trend line, came all the way through this pivot point here, and then obviously doji, and then broke down there pretty nicely, a little bit of follow through, but bear flag, right, up, and then consolidation, and then down, huge move down here, quick bear flag, and then down again. So actually a pretty big drop at the end of the day. So all the way from 28.50 down to 28.34, right? So almost a 20-point move there at the end of the day. So so pretty wild stuff, right? But in general, we're just still a belt hold day. So we'll see if we get some follow through tomorrow to the upside. So futures are turning green right now. So overall look at the picture too. Again, just quick review, right? 2018 channel, right? 2817 all the way up, channel, worked its way up, tagged the channel, double top, down, tested the bottom channel, tested it again, and then worked its way down to those December lows, Christmas reversal, back up, back into the channel right here, a little bit of consolidation, right? Price discovery in that area, up into the medium pitchfork level, test the pitchfork, pivot over the pitchfork, up to the pitchfork midpoint line, back down, right, which we had for the past couple days, and now it looks like it might be trying to pivot again here, right at the pitchfork median line. So we'll see if we get follow through, and then it might work its way back up. It could work its way up quickly. So we'll see how it handles that resistance zone again. So so that's pretty much what's going on there. So yeah. So at this point, I want to talk about the next chart pattern in our list, which is the diamond tops and diamond bottoms, right? So basically diamond formations, they can occur at the top, they can occur at the bottom, but they can also occur within a trend for a continuation. And so we've talked, of course, a lot, in the past about triangles. But yesterday we talked about broadening formations. And so today I want to... today I want to talk about the diamond setup. I'll just call it the diamond setup, which is a combination of a broadening formation and a triangle. So when you combine those, and then you just look for a break to the up or the down of that triangle. So here we can actually see it on the SPX. We talked about this yesterday. The broadening formations, right? So there's your broadening formation, and then it ends with a triangle, right? So there you go. There's a diamond formation. This is a continuation pattern in this instance, right? We wait for a breakout over the top. This is your breakout bar. Right there, you can see that highlighted, right? And then it, boom, breaks to the upside. So ultimately it went from, let's say you got in the middle of the range right here, 28.55, all the way to 29.55. So 100-point move after that diamond setup. So I'm going to show you a couple more on the shorter term time frames. But basically it's anytime you see an up move followed by a down move. So you remember consolidation, up move, down move, back in the zone, consolidation, and then you look to see which way it goes. So it looks like a little bit like an EKG. But what you do is that's your pattern right there. So you have here to here to here to here. Now it could be the inverse of that too. It could be to the side, right, down, right, and then up, and then consolidation. So it always starts with consolidation, and then kind of makes those patterns right there. So so you just look for those type of setups intraday or on your larger term, kind of time frame. So in general, obviously you'd like it to be as symmetrical as possible. It could get steeper on one side than the other, right? So but let's take a look here at the SPX on the 5-minute chart and see if we can spot any diamond setups throughout here. So you'll actually see them a little more often than you might imagine. So let me see if I can let's take all those little guys out of there. Okay, so this is kind of like a mini one today. Okay, so we had the rectangle, right? And so let me remove that. Okay, so you can kind of see here a broadening formation to start. Okay, right, a little bit of consolidation, broadening formation, and then a triangle. Okay. So obviously you guys know I like confluence, so anytime you can see multiple setups like within one, so it kind of looks like it was a rectangle setup and a diamond formation like all in one, right? So anytime you can kind of see that sort of confluence, right, we would look for a break, and then we had that break, really look for the break out of the diamond, right? So this was a good one right here. So there's your entry, 28.38, and then it went all the way up to, first leg up, 28.49. So a nice 10-point move off of that. So this is a great one to keep on the radar for intraday type moves. And then let's see, I thought I saw another one. True reversals. Tom Wachowski did the percentages on these. I think the true percentage on them is like 69%, almost a 70% probability if you're at the top of a pattern for a say like a diamond occurred up here to reverse to the downside, and then same with the bottom. So if you had a diamond at the bottom, then you have a 70% chance of it reversing. So here's actually here's a continuation one right here. So you could see chop, up, down, chop. And so let's go like this. So here's your chop. Right, go up, down, chop. So you go back into chop. Here's your down. So it's a little mini triangle right here, right? A little bit bigger there, but you get the idea. So here's your triangle. Your diamond, and then breaks to the upside. Here's your breakout bar. Then you take that to the upside right there. So that was actually good for 28.68 all the way up to 28.91. So yeah, wow. Is that right? It says 70 to 90. Yeah, so nice 20-point move off of that. Yeah, we'll take that any day. Any day. I think this was a reversal, almost a diamond reversal bottom. It was a rectangle bottom too. We explored this this setup the other day, but I also want to show that sometimes these rectangles actually look a lot like where was I? Here. Sometimes these rectangles actually also look like diamonds. So so here we go. One more. This is actually a bottom, right? So you have a 70% chance of this thing working. So you have your chop, right? Here's your down. Here's that quick down move. But if we just kind of look at this, triangle consolidation. You can draw it over here. You can draw it over here. Let's draw here. Okay, a little bit funky, right? Not beautiful, right? Not textbook, but you combine that with this kind of rectangle setup too, because you had 1, 2, kind of 3 as well with the 2 bottoms, and then boom, that went to the upside. I mean, if you held that all day the other day, that was good for obviously if that was a 20-point move, and this was, let's see, so this is your, let's just say breakout bar confirmation 2834. Right, 2871. So almost a 40-point move. I'm just a huge, almost a 60-point move from kind of these diamonds right here. So definitely something to keep in mind, keep your eyes on. Just look for that consolidation, right? Up, down. This really didn't quite do it. This was another rectangle pattern the other day. I thought I saw one. I saw one on Tesla recently. Here's a diamond. So consolidation up. This is actually a real pretty one, right? Because you had up and then down and then consolidation. Nice move. A lot of times these are, these three bar pullbacks on the 5-minute chart, right? Those are often like bull flags, bear flags, those type of things. So here you go. Here's your diamond. Very nice. This is a nice one right here. Right there. Here's your breakout bar. Right over there, 2884, 2897. Okay. So nice 10-point move, which pays well on options. So good stuff. Yeah, and a couple of these actually it looked like we saw one intraday the other day. Like this is almost one right here. Up, down, consolidate, and then then went to the downside the next day. Same here. Up, down, consolidation, right? Up. This is at the end of the day, obviously. So you don't really know if it's going to be consolidation or not. But you don't know if it's going to go up or down. It does have since it's at the top of the range, it does have a 70% chance of breaking down. But you still want that breakdown bar. But I mean, I guess you could kind of technically consider this the breakdown bar. And once it broke through that level, right, that's basically essentially a 15-minute orb right here. So that broke to the downside, right? 28.29 down here to 2012, almost 15 points off of that. So anyway, hopefully you guys find that helpful. That is a really cool setup. I'm going to start tweeting those out a little bit more as well. So newsletter subscribers get access to my trades and the stuff I look at intraday. Of course, I tweet a lot of cool free stuff on the public Twitter stream. But to get to actually see my trades and kind of a little more in-depth thoughts into what I'm looking at intraday, feel free to subscribe to the Positive Trends newsletter. Links are in the description. So anyway, back with plugging my stuff. So at this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug that into the chat window, and we will get to as many as we can, hopefully before 10 o'clock, and so everybody can get a good night's sleep and have a great trading day tomorrow. So let me get tuned in here and pull up the chats. Sorry if it's a little bit choppy here. Okay, good. Awesome. All right, so I'm feeling organized right here. SMDC4S, what's going on? Good to see you. I like how you start off right away. This is what I want to see, TTD. So I got a good note today, a little heads up about TTD being spoken about, and a little bird told me that TTD would be, Kramer is going to be talking about it tonight. So let's see if that got any action or follow through. It did. Nice gap up after hours. So brilliant. So so this looks good. This should be in fact I'll add this to the 15 orb list tomorrow for the game plan. So let's see. So let's go with that, and we'll go TTD. Really nice. So let's just take a look how it looks overall. This is an Andrew Carlos favorite. So we track this one often. So we have the the longer term pitchfork, the fan lines, right? It's kind of chopped around the median line, gapped up to the upper pitchfork, right? Triangle. Actually, this is a diamond. You gotta love when you see this stuff, right? Once you learn these patterns, you start seeing them everywhere. It's a nice diamond. Then it broke to the upside. Here's your breakout bar, right? 211, got all the way up to 232, down again, right? It would have been nice if it came all the way down and filled this gap, right? And then kind of tested this pitchfork median line. But I think it's still worth at least a shot, to get up to this, to test like maybe around 200. So that looks really good. Thank you for mentioning that. Alpesh, what's going on? New here. Hey, welcome. Appreciate you you're joining in. So any questions or chart requests, feel free to plug in here. This is the free one, and then any questions too in the newsletter stream too. Just feel free to DM or whatever the case is there. So Osama, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Mike, what's up, buddy? Andrew, how's it going? We had TTD was the first request of the day. That's awesome. Sagar, what's going on? Good to see you. Call Saul, what's up? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good evening. Harvey, what's going on? Super Apple trading Harvey stud. Good to see you. Paul, what's going on? Good to see you. Sagar? Okay, so Fangers. Yeah, so yeah, we could, obviously I tweet out all the Fangers every evening and kind of see what's going on here. So, but for the Fangers, we've got, Facebook. Let's just kind of run through these real quick. So Facebook, it's really been pulling back. I think this thing eventually is going to give us a nice breakout. So it's starting to test, this sort of major, because I have this line right here. So it was resistance, 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 resistance. It seems like it wants to retest that as some support. And then I think if it can do that, I think we might get a nice, explosive move to the upside on Facebook. Should be relatively unaffected by tariff talk, right? It's not really a big tariff type thing. Apple, really nice trade today for everybody. For a lot of folks. So here, I like how it's breaking out of the cloud. Has some definite potential to the upside. You have a gap here and a gap here, right? So if the market starts getting really strong, Apple is a nice go-to stock. It's going to be on the game plan again tonight. Let's see what else. So we have Amazon. Amazon had a decent day today, a little bit choppy. It did have did kind of engulf the rest of the range of the prior day. So we just have to see. We're kind of working on this, but it seems to be sticking to this the fib arc, so it might work its way back up. Let's see how it handles. Remember, we have this confluent zone here at fib arc, pitchfork, and reaction line. So this is a key level that it would get to, in about a week or so. Netflix. One of these is. This is actually like almost like a. Look at this zone that it's in. I almost want to add this to the bullish list too. It's been kind of doing nothing, but look at that. That has like been support. Usually I think was it WD Gann said like the rule of 4 breakdown. So if it can go 1, 2, 3, 4, if it doesn't break down here, it should go back up. So we'll keep an eye on Netflix tomorrow too. That should be pretty interesting. Nvidia earnings tomorrow, so it could do anything. It was our bump and run example, right? So here's your, your 30-degree line, bump, come around, run, nice breakdown through that. So a nice little trade right there. Inside day today into earnings tomorrow. And then Google is looking, look at this. Of all the fangers, Google is negative. Everything else is up. Netflix is like a couple pennies, but Google just got destroyed today. So it seems like there's some big money in there that somebody's trying to get out, right? Trying to shake them out a little bit. So let them do its thing before we catch a reversal on this. And it is possible it's going to be on the short radar tomorrow for a scalp. Maybe it can get another 10 points and tag this fib fan line. And around kind of here in this zone, I would look for a potential. You can actually see support. So here I would look for a potential support, maybe a reversal area. If that doesn't work, then you've got the low end of this pitchfork right here. So that is a possibility as well. So those are your fingers. And then NVIDIA, obviously, BA. Let's take a look at Boeing and then CMG. Oh yeah. So this is the action reaction line here, right? So you have this major pivot, kind of drawn back to this action line. So this is your reaction area. I think Boeing is getting ready. Sad to say it, but it might actually be right. Was it inside day today? Hello? Yeah, inside day for Boeing. So I'm actually going to put an alert on that. If it breaks to the upside, it might get some nice follow through. I like how the RSI was oversold and kind of came right out of it. So that does give it a potential for some follow through to the upside. So I'm just going to say inside day up on that. I might actually look at trading that. Let's see how it looks on the daily chart with candles and clouds. So yeah, here's the weekly. If it did get some breakout, it could start filling some gaps, and breaking out of the cloud on the weekly is nice. And then we're well below the cloud here, but the thin zone of the cloud is over, right, guys? When the cloud starts thinning out, you start to see like possible changes in trend. So that continued to the downside there. Inside day today, so we'll see if that could break out through those levels. There is a gap right here to fill. So low of 347. If that gets filled, it could very well get to this 350, test the 350 area. If it breaks down, right, we still have an open gap at this 331. So I'm actually going to put an alert on it both ways. Put inside day down. because Boeing can do anything. Very news driven. But like I said, the more bad news that comes out, the more it doesn't go down on bad news, the more likely that the down move is over. So Dow theory, guys. I want to actually do one like a series on that next week on Dow theory, maybe next week. So we'll see. And then CMG. I heard you caught a nice trade on this one today. This is actually this is a Morningstar reversal on CMG from the downside here, from this down move, right? You have it's sort of a hybrid, right? You really want a red bar here, and then but still the real body here is below the real body here, and this came back up. Penetrated through 50% of this bar, so it is possible to get a continuation move to the upside. So that's CMG, good stuff. NetFry, what's going on? Mike, AMD, good trade today on AMD, man. That's great. So let's just take a look at the price action on that, and let's see what the daily did. So look at that, came down, tested your cloud, right? Because you got your multiple time frames pulled up everywhere, right? So you have your daily chart. Let's go, okay, tested the cloud, broke out of the cloud, so that's a nice signal to go along. And then let's take a look at the 5-minute chart here and see. We'll pull up some volumetric level. That's fine. So it did have a volumetric level count and broke down, came back through it, right? So that was also corresponded with a 5-minute breakout. Got some nasty bars right here. Held the prior level that we've been tracking, and then broke up, held volumetric, and then up tested the top of the volumetric range, and then kind of chopped for the rest of the day. Potential, not really. So just kind of a just a little 2B reversal right there, kind of mini. But yeah, little lots of shadows today on it, but great trade. So nice job, awesome. You get your moving averages too. I mean, you could here look at this reversal, your 5 golden cross over your 10 MA, right? So that was a move right there, basically all the way from 26.50 all the way up to 27, and the 5 MA didn't come to the 10 MA until here, right? And then it broke out again through it, and as long as it stayed above it, right, that was a another long opportunity on AMD. So just another little MA technique you can use on the shorter term time frames. Let's see what else we got. Call Saul, chart request for one stock to be bullish on, please, sir. Apple. Let's keep looking at Apple for setups intraday. So it's I like how it's breaking out of the cloud, and it's got those nice gaps above, and it's got a lot of potential on it. So Apple, definitely. So it will be on the game plan tomorrow. So, but check out in the private Twitter stream the video on the stock. I compared. If you looked at, we talked about that ADX. That one I kind of showed. I forgot to mention in the first video, but the second video talks about using the in-the-money options and how different that was in trading that, right? So the stop was much more secure, and then it had actually ended up having better upside too. So cool. So anyway, just something to look at. So for tomorrow, if trading Apple, GE, okay, let's take a look at GE. Let's see. You were tweeting about that today, like it is ready. Let's see. Oh man, yeah, I mean it ripped today. Goodness gracious, 45 cents. Look at that, broke through $10, which is a key level, right? And it was just vertical all day. Wow. Let's see how that looks on the daily chart. So a little blip on the radar there, right? Showing some strength, right? Little bull flag. Might get up to 11. You never know. So it could do it. It's selling like, what was it? What did it do? Sell another $1 billion worth of failing business units or something? Anyway, good stuff. So Session, what's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, GE. Netflix, cool. Yeah, so we just looked at Netflix. It's looking good. It's looking like it's having some potential. It's held. I just kind of drew this up here. It's some longer term support, right? Since oh my goodness, really? TOS gets excited too. I get all excited about these charts. It's like, ah! All right, so yeah, so this was all the way since February. So test. I mean, it's got to do something at this point, right? So I'm thinking maybe break to the upside, right? So we'll see on that. If it breaks down, then it might go down to 324. But if it holds and breaks the upside, could be pretty good. Looks good for a potential long. So we'll put Netflix on there. Good. So yes, very, very good. Open Dialogue, what's going on? Good to see you. Let's take another look at Amazon. Absolutely. So Amazon is not as interesting as Facebook, but it is interesting, right? So we have the this fib arc here, which is basically comes from the from this way trough low to all the way to the all-time highs. And so when you use those really key levels, right, it kind of gives you this, raises an eyebrow when you get close to it. Because look here, it tagged right here, right? Right at the median line here, this pitchfork big confluence area. So at this point, it's in play. It's just interesting, right? So I was hoping for like more of a consolidation pattern in here. So at this point, I might be able to move this pennant down there because you have some support here, here, and here, right? And I don't know what I was doing there, but if I activate this, right? I mean, it could be working on this type of thing. So maybe a little consolidation tomorrow, and then a break to the upside, and then follow this this fib arc up back into this zone here. And this 1942, I don't know what's going on with that, if it's going to break out or if it's going to decide to follow it back down. So so it should be pretty interesting on Amazon. NetFrac also. What's up? Andrew, what's going on? USO and UNG for a swing. Cost and Microsoft. So USO. Let's see. I tell you, these utility ones are really tough for me to trade, but basically just draw a trend line, right? It broke out once it got this volumetric level. It got back up here. So what you do with the trend line, right? Start at the low, try to find the peak right there, and then you find the next place where it doesn't intersect anything, which is right here. So this is your current trend line right there. So so just be careful, right? You have an inside day today, so if it breaks down, right, it might break down and eventually come back down and retest, kind of this 1212 level and this 1150 level. So just something to be careful of there. And then UNG. See if I can find it down there. Magnifying glass. Alrighty. Kind of looks like Tilray or Bitcoin, but anyway, you kind of have like this head and shoulder with some big traps, right? And then head, big traps, shoulder, right? So so just be careful here, if it breaks down that 21 level, but it seems to be holding that volumetric support level pretty good. Just real, it's got a little gap right here that you can try to fill, a couple other stuff here, but in general the trend is down, right? So why? Because it's there's nothing going up, right? This very, very short term it would be up. So here, you look for this level right here. So your next pivot was down here. So it could be breaking trend, right? So it gapped up out of it. So look for a possible retest of the lows and then back up. But it is breaking trend. So then you can draw a new trend line like we have here, right? And then just kind of draw it up there. So to see how it holds that, see if it can hold that uptrend, the current uptrend. So good, nice stuff. Oh, Costco and Microsoft. Let's take a looky look. Oh, why did I combine it? Microco. CostSoft. I don't know. Anyway, so cost. I'll combine those two. All right. So Costco. Good. What was good? Well, that's messy, isn't it? When you're zoomed out like that. So let's see. I was showing some reaction lines here. You just kind of see how good these are. Right? I mean, they're not super awesome, but I mean, here's your reaction line, upper pitchfork, down, breaks out of the pitchfork eventually. Okay, so here we go. So this was your uptrend prior. So that was your all-time high. So the next thing you do, right? It's not a beautiful uptrend, but there, right down to here, right from the gap. And so, so as long as it holds these levels, another thing you can do too is you activate and bring it all the way to these lows here, which was there. Okay, activate. And there's your trend. Actually, look at that. It looks really good. Touch. So it's kind of holding. So trend is still up on Costco. So just look for setups there on that one. I don't really see anything standing out. I don't think it's an inside day. It is a bit of a reversal bar here, but again, the trend is still up and it's got a lot of support below it. So so that's something to keep in mind. And then Microsoft. So I don't know why I don't track this stock more. I mean, it is trading really well. So this is your right. This is your pennant, right? It had a nice breakout of the pennant. Let me remove this right here. Okay, and now it's still consolidating. I mean, I think this has a lot of potential right here. So activate. There. I mean, this is your real level you want to break. If you could get over this, right? You have some potential, but this is looking pretty good too. So yesterday's high, or I'm sorry, today's high. I'm thinking in the future. Today's high, breakout above that could retest that 128 level. So something to keep in mind on that. Also, actually, let's look at Whirlpool. No problem. Let's see. So WHR, the stock that everybody loves to short. Is it done? Is it over? I do not know. It is an inside day though, so that is one thing. Let's see how it looks on the candlestick chart. Almost a homing pigeon pattern. I like the down move, so this is good. Yes, so check this out for a break to the upside. It could get some moving. Got a nice gap up here. Whirlpool is awesome for shorting when you put in a topping tail over the upper Bollinger Band, right? So right now you've got 2 under the Bollinger Band. So look for just be careful of that. Might test down again, but eventually it's going to break through it, and then could work. So look for that inside day break on Whirlpool. So cool. What else? Session, Facebook. We did that with all the fingers. So it does look interesting, but let's take a look at Adobe. What is Adobe doing? Is that an inside day? I think it is. High. No, just outside of it. But still has some potential. So you have let's go to the bar chart. There. So yeah, so we had this this channel moving up, and it has broken down below it. So at this point, I don't really know, right? I mean, at a steep decline, so I mean, it could be working on some sort of pennant, right? So we can see if we break over yesterday's high or today's highs, right? It might give you a little push to retest that channel there at like kind of 282. But if it breaks down, might want to test this kind of pitchfork area too. So so kind of interesting there on Adobe. W day. I don't really trade Adobe very much, but W day. Let me guess, it went up. This thing is always going up. Working on this pitchfork, so testing the different levels, up, down, the median line. So it's kind of testing the highs right here. So yeah, look, just it is possible, that it could retest those all-time highs on W day. JPM, nice. I used to keep this on my daily chart list because of all the banks, this one can move, moves well. This level here was a key level. Yeah, I think we had like a double inside week or something. Anyway, so, but anyway, this is your resistance. It was support, broke down. Now it's testing it possibly as resistance again. And if that fails, right, then it might come down and fill this gap. Might even test this fib fan line before doing something. So had a big gap up, and it's trying to figure out. You can tell it's trying to figure out what to do with that gap. So seems like it found some support in it. If that is the case, then you might get some follow through. Right, there's your support, there's your pennant, possible break to the upside. So something to look at there. Experience and thoughts. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you. All right, Xilinx and HD. So Xilinx. Inside day. Maybe it'll get a little bit of action. There was your pennant, failed inside day. Let's see if we can get back through that. And then HD. Definitely tracking this one for sure. Let's see what we got. So nice breakout here. This was your congestion zone prior. Right? It's testing those levels. Right? Uptrend. Daily. So belt hold bar would have been nice if it could have formed, sort of one of those hybrid, Morningstar reversals. But still tracking this one, right? So this 193.50 level is going to be really, really key. So if it could break out there, then we got gap and gap to fill. So that should be pretty interesting on HD. Experience and thoughts? What's going on? All right, let's see. So we've got Pins, ACB, and Microsoft. So we looked at Microsoft already. So Pins. Pinterest looking interesting. I guess you could call it some Morningstar reversal. I'd like to see like a bigger red bar, but it is possible to get some follow through to the upside. We've got earnings coming up soon, so definitely worth taking a look at. If you did this, I tried trading options on this the other day, and I just didn't really like the spreads on it. But it's something that you could look at. With in the money, maybe a 70, delta, something like that with a stop kind of down here on your option chart, might get some follow through to the upside. And then ACB, I think we got earnings on this, right? Earnings were today. Thank you. overshot something. Oh, we're up here. Ugh, earnings are like, blah. So I was like, hey, yeah, everything's great. Oh, no. So, oh, dear. Look at that. Looks should be interesting. We'll see how that opens tomorrow. That might be is this tradable with options? No, it's $8. It's like probably 10-cent spread, so it's better to trade the common, I would imagine. So, but you can still look at the 15-minute orb on this one tomorrow, see where it goes. I mean, we've got in daily chart, it's kind of gapping down. You've got a couple pivot levels you could deal with, but you can see here the uptrend was broken. So that is definitely something to keep an eye on there. And Microsoft, we just took a look at. BYND, yes, thank you for bringing that up. Let's see. Wow, big day today. Big move up. It's like GE. Let's see. So your daily charts, yeah. Big moves, testing these volumetric levels here. I mean, you really got to see if you can get over that 81 level, and if not, it might kind of pull back and retest the that 70 level on that one. But yeah, nice steady move days. Algos were buying today. Good. And let's see, Tesla, MA, TT. All right, we looked at TTD first, but that's going to be on the 15 orb list for tomorrow because it's gapping up on some Kramer stuff. Tesla, inside 50 anchor for tomorrow. Okay, well, here we are. We're on the hourly chart. So this is the only inside 60 anchor. So it went inside on that last, it's 30-minute bar, but it's the last 60-minute time frame bar of the day. So we'll look to see if it will break to the upside or downside tomorrow at the open. So that's a great way to trade. Ooh, nice little hourly gap there too. So if that breaks to the downside, 231 down to 227. So you could get a 4-point move there. So a little bit choppy today, but is what it is. MA for MasterCard. Decent move today. Wow, huge move at the open. Goodness gracious. Yeah, this could give you like a measured move, tomorrow. So just have to that type of bar right there is pretty intense. So so definitely worth keeping an eye on for some follow through. Let's see how it looks on the daily. Yeah, almost even like kind of like a bull flag here too. So very, very strong. Nice chart. How do options trade on MA? You don't have the weeklies. I don't think so. Yeah, it's kind of thin. It's tradable though. Yeah, not bad spreads either. So might be worth taking a look at tomorrow. So yeah, I guess it's a weekly. They don't do the weeklies. Yeah. No, they have weeklies. Okay, cool. Sorry, I just don't really mess with MasterCard a lot. But yeah, I like that. It's looking pretty strong. I might even add that to the game plan tomorrow. That looks good. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, let's see. What else? What else we got going on up in here? TTD, we took a look at Twilio. Thank you for bringing that up. Gosh, I didn't even get a chance to look at that. The TWLO. All right, wow. Earnings with an inside bar, right? Oh no, Take Two. I'm sorry, Take Two is the earnings today. I do want to look at that. But yeah, this held the fib fan line pretty well today and came up off of it. So you have a inside day today. So look for a break there for for some follow through potential. I do want to let's look at Twilio real quick and just see what it did on the 15 orb today. Did I say Take Two? Take. Goodness, guys, sorry, getting late. Oh yeah, it's just ugly. That's nasty to trade right there. Very, very difficult to trade. Tough candles on that one. Inside bar, but it was outside of the 15 orb, so it was like, ugh, I'm glad I didn't mess with this today. Ugh, it's just like one of those, hi, I don't feel like obeying any rules whatsoever. Okay, glad I looked at it just so I knew not to trade that one again in the future. Jay Sheldon, what's up? Hello. No problem session, my pleasure. Shirley, what's going on? Jay, curious about PIRS. Could you tell me what I think? So PIRS, not pins, but PIRS. PINS. Goodness, I just did it. What? Piers Pharmaceutical? I do not know, but it looks interesting. Look at the volume on this. See how that is. Yeah, really, really low volume. I wouldn't even touch this thing with that type of volume. But it did have a big move. So that's something to definitely consider. but I wouldn't touch it because of the volume on it. Just blah. But it is doing something, right? So it had earnings recently, and then it got some nice follow through here too. So that's could do like a little cup. So that would be a perfect cup. If it could kind of pull back a little bit, you might get a nice cup and handle break. And I believe there's a gap up there too. So so that does look interesting. Yeah. In general, let's see. Yeah, I mean it's breaking downtrend. Here's your 975. There's your low. Next place to break is right there. So it's done. Okay, that's fine. Channel's fine too. There. Okay, but in general, that was your trend line. So yep, broke through that very, very nicely. So I like it. I like it a lot. Let's see. So good. Yeah, just be careful with the low volume. That's the only thing I would have to say about it. So surely experience thought is a good strategy to short something and buy calls. Short something and buy calls. When RSI hits the 80s. Okay, so is it a good idea to short something and buy calls 45 days out on names like BYND when it gets too extended, like when RSI hits it? Are you talking about puts, like buying puts, like short and buy puts? I think that's what you're saying. Unless you're saying buy common stock and then short it with common stock and then buy calls to hedge it. Which you could do too. I mean, that right? Because you're just hedging your bet, and then like if it makes a big move, you can get out of your calls, and your short outweighs your calls, and you're good. So you know what your premium is, right? So you have your goals. So if you bought $1,000 worth of calls, a premium, and then you had enough shares on the short side. Once you break $1,000 on it to the short side, you could sell your calls or just dump your calls, and then you've got the short. So you could do that. That is a good strategy, right? But if you just want to, get puts, I don't recommend just getting anything unless you have a setup, right? So just say with BYND, like it's extended, but BYND, like even on the daily, the RSI is not even in there yet. But excuse me, but if you're looking at another chart. Like with the, let's find something. Like your hourly chart. So, I mean, you could, but the thing is that RSI, once it's overbought, it can stay overbought for a long time, right? So you really just want to look at your patterns that are setting up. So it's like if RSI is overbought and it's over the upper Bollinger Band, right? And it puts in sort of like a topping tail like this, and you can get like kind of like 3 reasons to take a trade, right? Then you can get puts, right? But not just because RSI is overbought or something like that. Like, it's still very risky, right? Because it could keep going up. I mean, just as an example, let's say like Netflix. Let's go to here. Let's go to the daily. So, I mean, in here, right? It was overbought for a long time. So even if you had puts, right, it pulled back a little bit, but it just kept going up. I thought here, yeah. So this whole range in here, it was just nonstop, right? So it got overbought, and then eventually, came back in. So you just have to find the right setup. So, but I do like this when it's over the upper Bollinger Band, and then especially on the weekly chart, right? So that's a good setup. So here, you weren't overbought, but you were over the upper Bollinger Band. Let me see if I can find another area here. Didn't quite close, but it got close to the upper Bollinger Band, then came back down. Lower Bollinger Band oversold, then came back up. So when you kind of can combine a couple different factors, right, you can then you can look to take a trade to do that. So that's kind of the idea there. So yeah, so that's that. TTD is taking Google business. Is it? That's interesting. Okay, good. All right, so that may explain a little bit why Google is just getting destroyed. So yeah, nice. That is interesting. Andrew, so haven't been trading TD because of the spread. Yeah, I wouldn't even mess with it, man. So, but it is cool to watch, though. Uzi, what's going on? Good to see you. Had a great trading day, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks, Uzi. Appreciate it. Hope you have a great trading day. And yeah, exactly. That is my standard mantra. So, good stuff. Netfry, no problem. My pleasure. Callsall, my pleasure. TuneFed, CTL, if we have time. What's up, dog? So CTL. Yeah, see this right here? Experience and thoughts. So here you have this, you closed under, and this is actually kind of a hybrid Morningstar reversal. You closed under the lower Bollinger Band, right? And RSI was oversold, so this is a good rally attempt right here. So really, really nice. And your target there, you have a gap right here, and you've got the mid Bollinger Band right there at about 11. So this is you might get some follow through on this one. I like this. So there's a good opportunity on that one. TuneFed definitely. So Merritt, how's it going? Good to see you. Andrew, yeah, my pleasure. Session. You sneak them in, and but I'm happy to take a look at it. So let's see. Yeah, so this one too. This is like it's oversold, but it's not nowhere close to under the Bollinger Band, right? It tried to do it here, right? But it never got back through it, and so just kept on going to the downside. Just kind of chopped it down. So Triple M has got some issues. I mean, it's got some increasing volume too on all these cells. They're trying to push it up, but it just got below volumetric support. I don't know how low this thing's going to go. I mean, it's working on it for sure. It can go pretty low. So definitely one to keep an eye on. I don't have any thoughts on it except maybe you could try it below today's lows. It could continue, right? Because you got a topping tail basically at volumetric resistance now. So a push to the downside might at least test that 172, and if that fails, it could just continue lower. So I'm still pretty bearish on this Triple M. Wow. Sindor, what's going on? Melly? I love how you guys ask about this one. This one is just always fun to watch too. So yeah, we talked about this here. This is your pennant that we had. Nice break on the pennant, paused it, and then way back up again. So it looks like it might want some follow through on this as well. So so definitely worth keeping an eye on. Tilray, we have earnings tonight. Let's see where that's at. Yeah. So we'll look at the 15 orb on this one tomorrow and just see, look at trading that. Options are a little bit funky on it, so I mean I might not even trade it at all. But if it's gapping up to, let's see what the number again. 50s, 78. I mean, so it's pretty boring. It's not really up that much, but it might be over 50, so just kind of blah. Hard to say. So I would look at the 15 orb to see if that is tradable at all. But I'm pretty hands off on this thing. So. Yeah, overall, but a little bit of a gap up. And then CMG, we looked at a little bit earlier, but just so you know, it is looking pretty bullish in general. Right, nice pullback, nice pennant, the 50-day moving average, and it's starting to break out back above it. So it is possible, right? It's almost a kind of a morning star too. It might test like those highs at that 720 level. So it is possible. I'm probably not going to trade that one, but it does look interesting. So Shirley, what's going on? AFL. Why does it do that? There we go. So yeah, I mean, definite uptrend. So even from this previous low, right, high. I mean, there we go. There's your uptrend. So so it looks good there. NetFry. One last question: how much stop loss can you tolerate in FANG? Can I tolerate? I don't like tolerating any stop losses, but it's all up to you, right? So you have to just gauge that, right? So NetFry, I trade options pretty much only. So I used to trade stock a lot, and then it's just like, why would I can just trade options? My risk is 100% defined, right? So even if I with stock you just get so screwed, like with Tesla or something like that, right? They could halt it, and you could be short, and then you open them. If you have your options, the only thing you have to risk is your premium, right? And then you can set stops on your premium, right? So, but yeah, okay. So you mentioned that right there. So so options and all that stuff. So it just depends. Me or anybody else. I mean, it all depends. Everybody's got different risk thresholds, right? So if you have so let's look at like Google, right? So obviously, let's say I wanted to short Google tomorrow, right? And I got puts. So what I would do, and say I want to go to 1100, right? So the idea is, and say I'm out. Let's say I'm all out if it goes above today's highs. So today's highs were 1144, right? And today's range was 21. Right, so if I bought, what is it, 100, or if I shorted 100 shares at Google, right, I'm risking, essentially my stop area, $2,200, right? So if I bought one put on it, right, so let's say I got the in the money puts, and comparably, so I'd want to go the 70 deltas, somewhere around there. So let's just say the 1140s, pretty close to 70. I mean, you could go the 1135s if you want, but say 1140s, so they're $19, right? So the most I would possibly risk on this is $2,000, just like very much the same on the common, except that's all I'm putting up is $2,000. And then so, of course, this is this week's, but if it did get any follow through, let's just go ahead and copy that. See, I wouldn't trade it I wouldn't try to swing it right now with this. I would actually go out to June. So you go like 30 to 45 days out. These are going to be a lot more expensive. But so you go to your 0.7 area. So let's say the 1165s are 53. So you're risking $5,300, right? Copy. Now you look at your chart. So I'm going to basically do the exact same thing, except it's an inverse because we're looking at the puts. And then you basically, so your entry here is, right? So here, let's say you get in at around let's say $51. So you're risking $5,100. But with these, you put your stop just below, today's low. So you're about like $42. So you're really only risking $1,000. But if it gets that move to the downside to 1100, right? Which is like, what was it, like 10 points or something like that? So Google is, yeah, so about 10, 15 points, right? You could still make your money and pick up some momentum benefits too from the puts, and then you might end up somewhere at like $6,100, something like that. So you make $1,000. So you have risk 1-to-1 risk reward. It's not beautiful, but if you hit your target, 1-to-1 is maybe a little bit better than that, is possible. So that's kind of how I look at setting stops on those, right? And the type of risk. So same thing with any of those. So you look at the chart itself. You look how you'd set it up, trading it with your common shares. If you're just going to do shares, then you convert it over to either a 1 delta. I like the 0.70 delta kind of range. You convert it over to that, and then you base it off of where it is relative, essentially, on your options chart, and then you can determine your risk that way. So if that makes sense. Surely, yeah. So let's keep going. Let's finish this up here. AMT, American Tower. Hello. There it is. It is certainly rocking. There's no doubt about it. Let's see. So this is definite uptrend. Yes, you do it a couple different ways, but here here's your top. There's your next level. So uptrend until proven otherwise. So good. ARE. Alexandria Real Estate. This is traded, which is pretty interesting. A lot of people only trade REITs. There you go, uptrend. ATHX. Bit of a downtrend still. Let's see, so there's your low. But it's breaking out, so that is a good thing, surely. So there's your breakout trade today, your breakout move today. So a break over today's levels. I think you're looking good there. And let's take a look here. 2 more. CBOE. Same. Working on its breakout move. Might retest first, that kind of 98 level, and then go. And then CCI. A Richard favorite. Yeah, this is going great. So definite possibility upside. So you see how it, let me zoom in there. Sorry, guys. Okay. So nice push here, right? Test, retest, and it's kind of working its way back up the pitchfork. So yeah, so that looks good. Good stuff there. Experience thoughts? Yay to hedge my bet. To hedge your bet. Yeah. So no, that's cool. Yeah, either way is okay. Like a double is coming up, I think on yeah, totally. You could totally. I think it's a great strategy. Anything that works for you is good. Jay Shelton, thank you for contemplating possible swing. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, just be careful, right? Yeah, until the FDA approval. Just remember with pharma, often it sells news, right? So it sells good news. So just keep that in mind. That's the only thing. I don't really mess around with pharma too much. So, but that's the one thing I've seen. So my good buddy Scott, who used to do wealth management, told me. So, and it's true. I've seen it happen live. Harvey, no problem. My pleasure. And good job to you. Yep, understand experience thoughts. Awesome. Yeah, I think it's a great idea. Session started to have so many. No, it's cool. If you have 2 minutes, just note. Oh, no, yeah, no problem. Yeah, if it looks like it's too much, you had some really, really great ones, so it's awesome. Merit Forever, my pleasure. Experience and thoughts. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Double bottom Netflix on daily. It looks like it's like a quadruple bottom. Oh, on the yeah, it looks like a quadruple bottom right now. So we'll see what it does. It's going to be on the long radar tonight. Joseph, what's going on? Good to see you. Experience and thoughts. One last one if I have time. JD and Baba. Yeah. So yeah. Thanks for bringing those up. JD, I just pretty much avoid. It's just so annoying to trade. It looks like it has some potential. I mean, after earnings, and if you can get through those earnings high there. It has 30-50, something like that. It could get some upside move. Let's see how Baba's doing. Is that report? When is that report? Tonight? Tomorrow? Ooh, tomorrow morning, Baba. Yeah, that's going to go on the 15 orb list for sure. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay. Good. Oh, sorry, but yeah, so with the earnings, we'll see how it opens tomorrow, but, we're kind of tracking a bunch of levels. We have a congestion zone right here, right? Bull flag, from prior bull flag. So if it could break through there and get through the congestion zone, it could really rock. But if it breaks down, right? Right? Downward channel and all that stuff. So it could be, could start to get, nasty. All good. Yeah, no problem, Nefri. Hopefully that made sense. Hopefully that was, not that it made sense, but hopefully I explained it okay. And Joseph, yeah, let's take a look at BA. So BA, we looked at this a little bit earlier, but just real quick summary. I'm looking at either to the long side or to the short side, but it is coming up to a reaction line here. So the reaction line is drawn right, main line, pull back to action, reaction. So it's coming up major area. It's an inside bar, right? So inside bar, it breaks to the upside. It could start working its way up. If it breaks down, it could get ugly back down to the downside all the way to 331. So if it breaks to the upside, 350 is a possibility. If it breaks to the downside, 330 is a possibility. So just something to look at either way. Regini, what's going on? Lope. Let's take a look at that real quick. And then we'll call it a night. It's getting late. I ought to just say let's do it till 10:30, right? Make it easier so it doesn't seem like we're rushing. But anyway, yeah. So Lope Grand Canyon Education looks like it's kind of a choppy. It seems to like to do this, doesn't it? It seems to just go like, oh, straight line. I wouldn't even mess with this personally, but does this thing like do anything? It was down. Okay, so it was down a little bit. But anyway, kind of interesting there. I don't really have anything except maybe like a channel here that we could do. Okay, here's like a long term. looks like it's like a monster eating something. Anyway, but let's see. So, if we could go kind of here, high. It's got a little bit there. Let's do it. We could do like a channel there. A fan chan. So there, something like that. So it's kind of in the middle of all these ranges and just kind of like bleh. Let's see from this low here. Let's try to get some perspective. Holding that kind of, this is island kind of top area. I don't really have anything to say about it. It's just really consolidating. If anything, it seems like it might want to fill this gap, right? Or at least try to test the lows of that gap up, that prior gap up, which would correspond with this fib fan line here. So that could give some reasonable direction on this. Let's look at a pitchfork as well. There, you see it's kind of rejected that level. So in general, I'm kind of looking kind of bearish on it. So, but really funky chart. Interesting one. Thank you for bringing that one up. So good stuff. Yeah, no problem. Well, it's all good, Joseph. Thanks for tuning in. TuneFed, M before the bell as well. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty decent morning tomorrow. So Macy's tomorrow, all that good stuff. So guys, I really appreciate everybody tuning in. Have an awesome night. Remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game and subscribe to the newsletter. Okay, so have a good night and I will talk to you guys later. And thank you again for awesome participation and I will talk to you guys soon.